Are you unsure of how to get started on your path to financial independence? Well, after watching this video, you shouldn't be unsure anymore. In this video today, I'm going to break it down into 10 very essential steps that you need to take in order to get started on your path to financial independence. And make sure you stay to the very last step, because I think that is the most important and the biggest step that pretty much anyone can take starting right now. The way that we're going to break down this video is it's going to be a little bit different. In most guides on getting started to financial independence, what you're going to find is you're going to find things like, spend less money, make more income, invest more, and things like that. Kind of some of the basics. While you do have to expand on those kind of basics, those actual steps, there's a lot more that goes into getting started on the path to financial independence. And that's why in this video today, we're going to look more at some deep, kind of philosophical questions that you need to answer for yourself, or kind of some things that you just need to get started right now, not necessarily 100% having to do with directly with your finances. And the very first step for getting started on the path to financial independence is actually understanding what financial independence is. Okay, so a lot of people they hear about financial independence through that first, that four-letter acronym. That's FIRE. So financial independence, retire early. And so what a lot of people think when they think of financial independence is they think about retiring early, the R-E part of that, that acronym. And I think that's kind of unfortunate, because there's so much more to financial independence, the pursuit of financial independence, than actually the end result, which is early retirement. If you want to achieve financial independence, you need to realize that there's so much more than just that end result of retiring early, quitting your job, sitting on the couch and watching Netflix all day. What financial independence is at its core, it's redesigning your life and designing it in a way that you want to live. And that can take so many different forms, okay? Maybe retiring early in the traditional sense, that traditional retirement definition, maybe that is part of your plan. But there's so many different kinds of plans you can have if you want to achieve financial independence. For example, you can go into switching careers. You can use financial independence as a pursuit of making a low-risk way of switching careers, doing something that you're more passionate about. You can make it where you design your life to volunteer more, maybe for a cause that you're really passionate about, and maybe you have to drastically change your own lifestyle up in order to do so, without having to worry about, the financial part of it. And if that's okay, that's what a financial independence allows you to do. There's so many different things that financial independence allows you to do, but at its core concept, it's about redefining your life and designing it in the way that you want to live it. And that's why financial independence, it always ties back into something so much more than just your personal finances. Of course, there is that, that financial and that mathematical equation, that part of financial independence, but there's so much more to it. And really, that's because financial independence is all about your entire life. It has everything. It touches everything in your life. It's really a way to optimize your entire life, not just your finances. And that's why when it comes to getting started on the path to financial independence, number 2 is really important. And that is that you need to find your why. Why do you want to achieve financial independence? This is perhaps one of the most important questions that you need to answer for yourself, that no one else can answer for you. Why are you even interested in achieving financial independence? Why do you even want to get started on this path? Because really, nothing else matters. All the action steps that you take, nothing really matters unless you have something that you actually want to work towards, or something that you want to better within your life. So what is that defining factor? What is really setting you apart from others? What is your why? What is making you want to go down this path? This is actually kind of dramatic, very different path than what most people in our society are doing. And I think the answer to what is your why for a lot of us is going to be something in what gives us meaning. Because us, as human beings, we have so much deeper thinking, at least that's what we like to think. We have so much of a deeper thinking of what gives us a sense of meaning. What is our purpose? What are we here on this earth to do? And while I certainly can't answer that question myself, and many people cannot answer that, you're going to have to find something within yourself that gives you a sense of meaning, gives you a sense of purpose, at least on a smaller level. What's going to give you a sense of meaning? And to kind of help you out here, I pulled up some research from Pew Research Center, and they actually did a survey of Americans, and they asked them what gives you a sense of meaning, or what gives you meaning in life. And the most likely answer at 69% was family. So most people, when they answered that survey question, most Americans anyway, and I'm guessing it's going to be similar around the world, most people selected family as giving them a sense of meaning. Their family gives them a sense of meaning. And that could encompass, your spouse, your children, your parents, your grandparents, anyone within your family. So that is what most people find their meaning in, and it probably might be very similar for you. So find your why of financial independence. That is super important on getting started. And once you've found why you want to achieve financial independence, it's really important that you understand where you're at and where you're going. And that's why in step number 3, you need to start tracking your actual finances. Okay, so tracking is probably one of the most important things you can do. Before you even take any action, before you even decide, to start decreasing your expenses, before you start, increasing your income, investing more, it's probably even more important to actually start tracking your finances to see, first off, where you're at. Like, where are you at financially? A lot of people, when they're getting started on the path to financial independence, or they're first getting interested into just personal finances in general, they have no idea where they're at. Like, where am I at here? Am I, doing pretty badly? Do I have a lot of debt that I need to pay off first? Am I already doing pretty well? Do I already have a good amount of money saved up, in my 401k or something like that? So the most important thing that you need to do is get all your finances in one place and start tracking them. Even if you don't attempt to make any changes just yet, in just getting started on the path to financial independence, it's really important to know where you're at. And then this is also going to allow you to find out where you're actually going. So is your finances right now, are they going in a positive direction? Are you building net worth right now? Is it getting worse? Are you getting into more debt? Are you going more into the negative portion of finances? So this is why it's super important to just start tracking. And there's many different ways that you can track your personal finances. I use Personal Capital because it's a free online software. You can link up all your accounts in one place, and it is very easy to do so. You can see your net worth and your income, your expenses, and pretty much everything. It has all kinds of different cool calculators you can utilize, and it's all completely available for free online. And if you want to check out Personal Capital, I am an affiliate, which means I have paired up with Personal Capital. And so you can go to oncashflow.com/resources. And on that page, you will see a link to Personal Capital and some bullet points on why I like to use Personal Capital. And so if you want a recommendation on how to start tracking your finances for free, it is right there on oncashflow.com/resources. Now, after you've started tracking your finances, it's really important that you set a goal for yourself when it comes to financial independence. Now, at this point, just getting started, it's not that important to have, a very specified goal, like a very specific goal that's, breaking down and it has all these contingencies and things like that. That's not really important right now. Right now, it's just kind of important to kind of make a, maybe a general or a more broad goal, just something that you can work towards, because no matter what you're doing, you should always have some kind of goal that you can work towards. Even if that goal is unrealistic, even if that goal, is something that you haven't put too many thoughts into. Okay, it's always important to have something that you're working towards. Now, it's more important to focus on the actual process of what you're doing, and that's where number 3 comes in with the tracking. But actually having a goal is what's going to kind of help motivate you and get you there a little bit faster. And one rule of thumb in personal finances or in financial independence that a lot of people like to use is known as the 4% rule. Now, the 4% rule is basically just based on historical data. If you withdrew 4% or less of your portfolio for many, many years, most likely about 80 to 90%, just depending on how the numbers work out, you're not going to run out of money throughout your entire lifetime, over 40, 50, 60 years. So if you actually had a goal of financial independence and you utilize the 4% safe withdrawal rule, as it's known, then most likely it's going to last your entire lifetime, based on historical data. And so how you establish a goal with the 4% rule is basically you're going to just take your annual expenses or your planned annual expenses while you're in financial independence, and then you're going to multiply that annual expense by 25, okay? And so that's going to be basically your FIRE number. And this is just a very, easy goal to make. It's really quick, easy math, back of the envelope kind of thing. And so this is not, too in-depth, detailed, and broken down into your specific situation, but it is a general goal that is great for most people to get started with. And so, for example, if you had an annual spending goal of $40,000, you multiply that by 25, that's going to be $1 million. So your FIRE number, your FIRE goal would be $1 million. And that's because 4% of $1 million is going to be that $40,000 that you would be spending annually. And this can apply to any goal, whether that be $1 million or $2 million, $2 million would theoretically produce $80,000 worth of annual withdrawals. And so this is a really great way to just get started on making a goal. And then once you're more established, and after, in this process of getting on the path to financial independence and you've been doing it for a little bit, you can look more and learn more into how to create a more specified goal for yourself. And that's where there's lots of, even free and great financial independence calculators out there online that you can utilize, once you get a little more understanding about, personal finances and financial independence in general. And so for now, if you're wanting to make a goal, if you're really just starting out, the 4% rule is a great way to just make a general broad goal. And then after a while, you want to start utilizing those financial independence calculators and kind of, tweak and look at your goal and see how it's going to actually work out best for you in the future. And speaking of the future, that is where number 5 comes in, okay? And number 5 on your path to financial independence is you just need to learn more, no matter where you're at. If you are a complete beginner, if you're an intermediate, if you're already even financially independent, you should never stop learning. Everyone should be a lifelong learner because all of us have something to learn. And this is especially true when it comes to, personal finances, financial independence, investing, taxes, all those kind of things. That never stops, okay? The learning should never stop. Even I am continually learning, and that's because everyone should have that learner's mindset. Everyone should strive to become better and more knowledgeable at whatever their given specialty is. And everyone in the financial independence community, everyone on the path to financial independence who is interested in it, should always become a lifelong learner because there's so much more to learn. And that's why one thing that you can do in order to learn is make sure that you are subscribed to On Cashflow. So make sure that you are subscribed and you have that bell on as well, because every single week I'm putting out new information on financial independence, and I just know that there's something that I can help you with. But let's move on to number 6, and number 6 is to focus on happiness. Now, this is one of the most difficult parts of getting started on the path to financial independence, because everyone initially, when they hear about financial independence, retire early, they think that once they reach that number, once they get that end result, then they're going to be happy. But this is just simply untrue, and you might actually be even more unhappy once you reach that goal if you think that it's going to just transform your life, because it certainly does not. Okay, it starts now. You need to start making changes now in order to increase your happiness. Happiness is not necessarily an end result. It's not just something that you all of a sudden obtain. It is a process, a lifelong process, really, in order to achieve happiness and have content with your life. And while I'm definitely not a top, philosophical thinker, it all starts now. You need to start making changes now that's going to benefit your life and make you a little bit more happier. And this goes well beyond your personal finances, especially when it comes to financial independence. Like I said earlier, like really early on, it is about life optimization and making everything in your life better. Okay, so start focusing on how you can make your life better now. That's going to definitely get you, on a great start to getting started on the path to financial independence. Because at the end result, the end result is not going to result in happiness, okay? It is a process. It's going to take a long time, and that's why you need to make, small but significant changes towards what's going to make you happier, what's going to make your life better, okay? Because financial independence, as a result, it's not going to do that all on its own. And that is why we have step number 7. And step number 7 is to focus on the process, focus on processes, and not necessarily focus on goals. While I do think it is definitely important to have goals, and that's why I mentioned it earlier, and to start a goal, I don't think that everything should be focused around just that goal. Okay, once you reach that goal, that is it. It should not be that kind of, you should not have that kind of mindset. It should be you focus on making everyday decisions, the actual process of getting there. Okay, so like they say, it's about the journey and not the destination kind of thing. So it is kind of similar there, because some of your goals, they might not even be within your control at all. If you say, I want to achieve $1 million by this date, for a certain extent, that is beyond your control, especially if you are investing in the stock market and the stock market has, kind of potential downturns that happen, closer to that goal date that you have. If that happens, that is something that is beyond your control. But you should be focusing on the processes, because processes are things that you do every day, every week, every month, whatever it may be, that are within your control. So when you're getting on the path to financial independence, this probably applies to a lot more things in life as well. Try to focus on your actual actions, things that are within your control. That is going to be so important if you want to achieve financial independence. And speaking of processes, number 8 on this list is to question everything, okay? If you want to achieve financial independence, it's essential that you are going to be questioning everything that you do, okay? And that doesn't mean just, just purchases, okay? So a lot of people think, just question your purchases, what you're expending your money on. And while that is definitely important, you should definitely be questioning things like that. You should be questioning a lot more than just what your expenses are. So when it comes to financial independence, if you really think about it at its core, financial independence is questioning society. It's questioning everything that we do, as a society, everything that we have been taught to do. Let's say that standard path that most people have is, they go to high school, they go to college, they get into a bunch of debt, then they get a job and they work for the next, 50 years. Maybe they start a family within that time or whatever. And so that actual path, it's kind of what it seems to be doing is not leading to very much happiness for a lot of people, within our society. And that's why financial independence is kind of looked at that scenario and be like, what are we doing? What are we doing in order to, that's creating, all this unhappiness? While we have all this abundance in our life, we have all these great things within our life, but somehow people are less happy. And that's why I think financial independence questions everything, and you should be doing that as well. So you should be questioning, why you actually do these things. Like maybe something that you do in the morning, like why am I actually doing this? Is there a good reason why I do this? So every kind of task you go through life, is there a reason why I'm doing this? Is this really important? Is this something that's going to make a difference, in my life or in my work, whatever it may be? And so that's why I think that it's very important to start questioning things a lot more instead of just, maybe agreeing to everything that comes along your path and just being reactive to everything that happens. And speaking of questioning everything, one thing additionally that you should be questioning is financial independence itself. And so one thing that you can do in order to question financial independence, to see if it's even right for you, if it's even something that you want to pursue, is to actually try it. So I think that, well before you start making these drastic decisions that financial independence usually entails, you should actually try out financial independence. And one of the best ways that you can do that is to simply take a vacation and stay at home, also known as a staycation by some people. So this is going to really test what you're going to be doing in your free time, for a majority of the time, if you were to achieve that end result of financial independence. What are you actually going to be doing? So try taking a vacation if you have never already, because most people are so busy. Most Americans, they never take even their actual vacation hours. And so try actually taking a vacation and just staying home. Try slowing down and just seeing what it's going to be like. What is your daily life? What would it be like? How are you going to, fill your time if it wasn't filled with, 40 to 60 hours at work? What are you going to be doing with your time then? Because this is actually, a really hard realization for a lot of people, especially in the financial independence community. Like once they reach financial independence, they have no idea what they're actually doing. So you actually have to start developing that way in advance. Like, what do you actually want to do with your time? Because work takes up such a large portion of our lives in most cases. And if you're actually trying to escape that kind of lifestyle, you need to be escaping to something rather than just from something. And that's why I think it's really important that step number 9 is to actually try out financial independence and see what it would be like. And that leads me to step 10, probably one of the most important things on this list, and that is to simply take action. So this is pretty broad, but you actually need to take action on all these things that we just talked about recently. And of course you have to take action on so many more things than just these, the first 9 tips in this video. But one way that you can take action today is that you can, first off, make sure you're subscribed to On Cashflow. Go to oncashflow.com/resources and start tracking your personal finances if you are not already. Like Personal Capital is great to just link up all your accounts and get started today. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm Zach from oncashflow.com, and I hope to see you next time.